Welcome back to the Strata Automation technical channel. In this video, I'm going to be covering our MEXP expansion modules. So we have an MEXP 8AI, an MEXP 4BO, and an MEXP 4AO, which gives you some different options for expanding the amount of I/O you have on our BP 848 controller, as well as our OCR backnet router, which converts IP traffic to MSTP traffic. So here you get a close-up view of what those look like. So here we have that 8AI, here we have that 4AO, and here we have that 4BO, as well as our BP 848 here. So these just slot in on this, if you're looking from the top down here, this right-hand side of the controller, there's an expansion port, and all these orange connectors here slot right in. These also have the DIN rail mount right on the back, so they'll slot in and fit in quite nicely, whether it's with our OCR or with this BP 848. Here you can see that mounting structure, as well as that expansion port where that slots right in right there. Now for the 8AI module, the different kind of inputs we support would be that 10K type 2 or 3 thermistor, a 0 to 10 VDC input, as well as a dry contact, so like a binary input kind of function. For the 4AO would be a 0 to 10 VDC output. So you can have up to 4 extra analog outputs. And then that 4 binary output would be, you put your load on there, so it basically is just a dry contact closure, and it'll transfer power through to whatever is downstream. So on all of these modules, they have some different things to look out for here. So we've got, like I mentioned earlier, we've got that clip port on the left-hand side that slots in to the one next to it. So whether that's the parent controller, the BP848, or the OCR, or the expansion module before it. So you can have up to one of each of these on the BP848. So you can get, an additional 16 I/O on a BP848. And then we also support up to 256 additional I/O on the OCR. So that one has a lot more expansion possibilities, which can be utilized just as executable I/O in the field, or something like our OCR Plus, where you can develop your own plant controls, complex air handlers, and take that to the next level. Additionally, over here on the right-hand side, we have some buttons. So these allow you to do local overrides, as well as change some of the settings, whether that's something like the address, which we don't recommend doing, but you can if you have to, or if something gets messed up. This screen is where you'll see real-time data, whether it's the output being on or off, or what percentage it's at, as well as for the analog inputs here, you'd see the count or the temperature, depending on how you have it configured. And then on the top and bottom are your terminals where you would land your wires. So now to go through the menus and kind of show you what that looks like for the different things you can change, we'll hop over to the GoPro and we'll take a look. Okay, so we have our BP848 here. I've got my 24 volts going here on the bottom left terminal. And above it, I have one MEXP 8AI, one 4AO, and one 4BO. So on the right-hand side of my 848, you'll see this expansion port here. So with my 848 powered off, I'll go ahead and slot in. It doesn't matter the order, but you are limited to 3 with the 848. That number increases with the OCR, but for the 848 you are limited to 3. So I'll power it on, wait for the controller to boot up, and finish going through its boot up sequence. And then you'll notice on all of these, I'm starting to get some real-time values. On the 8AI here, I'm getting all these counts are kind of going crazy. My AOs here, I'm just reading 0% on all of them. And I've actually set up a manual override already on one of my BOs. But on all of these here, I can use these 3 buttons on the left-hand side to interact with the extra I/O here. So if I hit the center button, it'll pull up a menu, and I can cycle through the different options here. So I can look at information, that just shows this. If I go up to settings, I have to enter the validation code, which is up, up, center. And now I can manipulate the settings as well as interact with each of my inputs here. So I don't want to change the address. I want to let it auto address. It'll do it correctly every time. If I change the address, I could mess up the functionality. So if I look at one of the inputs here, I can configure it through this menu here, or I can do it through software like SLC or OCN software. So I can configure it for that. I can configure it for temperature, current, or voltage. But I'll go back here and just go back to this general menu here. Then for the AOs here, my interaction, I have intervention, up, up, center, which allows me to override one of these points here, so I can manually override output 1 here to 100%. So you'll see manual 100%. It'll be highlighted in red. And same goes here, same process on the BOs here. I've overridden this binary output 1 to 100%. But that's how you snap in, set up, and interact with these different expansion modules here. Lastly, I just want to close out by showing you what that looks like in Ocean here. So I've got my BP848 here pulled in to my Ocean server. So I'm going through my app config here. And in any of the physical locations, if I scroll down, you'll see MEXP 4BO out 1 through 4. If I go down here to my control location, only certain ones you can configure it. So it would be like on my return location here. You can see all of my MEXP AI inputs here. I go down economizer, see another humidity sensor location. I can select one of those analog inputs. Let's see, for my, if I set an exhaust fan, my control type, the modulating here. I could set the physical location of one of those extra analog outputs if all my other ones are already being used up. So that's what it looks like in software, but that's going to be it for this video. So thank you for watching and have a great day.